It's actually a pretty shitty day to ride, if you ask me, because the weather's kind of humid, kind of hot. It's not exactly, I would say, a perfect riding condition or conditions. I'd prefer somewhere between 25 degrees Celsius and, I don't know, let's say 15, 20, 25% humidity. That's like the perfect weather for riding, but this one is a bit too humid for me. Yeah, so let's talk Hayabusa. I don't know. I think everybody knows the history of Hayabusa, like when it was released back in 1999, I think. It was one of the fastest, no, not one of the fastest, the fastest motorcycle in the world at that time, 1999. So Suzuki actually released it because the other manufacturers like Kawasaki and Honda, Kawasaki actually came up with the ZX11 or Ninja 1100 first, and then afterwards Honda was like, yeah, we're gonna produce something faster, only a tiny bit faster, but still faster nonetheless. The Blackbird 1100cc Blackbird. And then Suzuki was like, okay, this kind of sucks because nobody's actually producing something much faster than these two. As in, like the manufacturers were playing what? Like, I don't know, like ping pong? Like, yeah, I'm 1 mile an hour faster than you. Oh, of course, then I'm gonna make something another mile faster than you. So then Suzuki was like, drops a bomb with the Hayabusa, which can do 194 miles an hour, or I don't know, close to 320, definitely more than 300 kph. So that once that happened, Honda and Kawasaki was like, I think Kawasaki released the ZX12 right after, which was not exactly faster, was more like trading blows with the Busa. And then later the gentleman's agreement happened. Yeah, like I think most of the people, at least in the motorcycling community, know the history. Yeah, so there was like 3 iterations of the Hayabusa. The first gen was 1299cc, 175 horsepower, I think, somewhere around that. And then the second generation was produced to make it much faster because the ZX12 was already in the scene, and then Suzuki wanted to improve the Hayabusa, so the engine was already reliable, pretty reliable. Nothing had to be done to it, like except for, I don't know, increasing the size a little bit so that it becomes, in the second generation, 1340cc. And then the third generation happened when nobody thought that there will ever be a third generation after the second, because the emission norms was like tightening up, and then people was like, okay, that's probably the end of it. There probably won't be something like a Hayabusa or a ZX14R or an H2 even. Like H2 is one of a kind and currently the fastest motorcycle in the world, you could say. So the third generation was something, was sort of like a surprise. Like I remember like news were publishing articles stating that, yeah, the next Hayabusa will be turbocharged, will have a smaller engine, will be lighter, blah blah blah. And I was kind of skeptical because there is a reason why turbocharging hasn't caught up in the motorcycling world, at least. Of course, there was like some offshoot turbocharged motorcycles which never really had any success because, yeah, the heat for one was pretty high, and the reliability was also pretty kind of shit. I think Suzuki had a, yeah, that's how easy it is to overtake, to change lanes, merge into traffic on a Hayabusa. It's so fucking fast. I was in 6th gear. All you need to like a handful of throttle, and then you are doing much faster than most of the traffic. I mean, you're doing much faster speeds, I mean. I mean, we are in the restricted section of Autobahn, so I can't really push it, but yeah, cruising 110 pretty comfortably. Nothing, the RPM is what, 3,600 maybe. So, where was I? Yeah. The turbocharging, like there was this rumors of turbocharged Busa floating around, but I think Suzuki actually made some prototypes, which kind of, I don't know, I think they did make certain engines which they turbocharged, but at the end they thought, yeah, this is probably not reliable, not going to work, and then we're going to stick to the recipe, the tried and tested recipe, which is the old giant, the legend 1340cc inline 4 naturally aspirated 197 horsepower 110 foot-pounds of torque, I think. Yeah, the tried and tested engine, which is at this point had achieved legendary status. I mean, it's a legend when it comes to reliability and outright modifiability like the turbocharging, whatever, like supercharging. There are like thousands of mods that you can do to a Hayabusa, which can make it like faster, extremely fast. The TTS Hayabusa, for example, is like 340 horsepower. It's like stupid fast. You've got it's fucking ridiculous how fast that thing is. But yeah, so Suzuki decided to stick with the original engine, not the original one, the second generation engine, but of course with slight modifications here and there to produce a bit more mid-range torque and power, which you can quite literally see. Of course, we will soon get to the unrestricted section, and then I will show you what you can do. Literally, you don't have to drop any gear on the Busa. You can just stick it in 6th. Don't even change, it still does. That's it, that's all it takes. I'm already doing 200 kph. So yeah, that's what this thing can do. Yeah, pretty easy. I set the cruise control at 140 and then that's it. Easy peasy, baby. The issue is, especially during midday on the Autobahn, even on the unrestricted section, there's a lot of traffic. So you have to be careful. You can't just grab a handful of throttle and then pin it till you hit 300. It's extremely dangerous. But this is one of the easiest bikes to ride fast on. Like, I'm casually chatting with you guys at 160. It's fucking stupid. Alright. So, how easy is it to live with the Hayabusa? Pretty fucking easy. It's easy to ride slow, it's easy to ride fast. It's just an easy motorcycle to ride. Again, cruising. I'm not even pinning it. Already doing faster speeds than most of the traffic. Now let's change to the slow lane. I mean, there is nothing too slow about the slow lane. Except for the trucks, most people are doing 140. Alright, let's switch to the pit lane. The Autobahn is kind of funny because you think you're the fastest on the Autobahn, doing, I don't know, 200, 250. And then there is some guy in a fucking Skoda Kombi flashing at you to get out of the way. Which is kind of crazy. Oh, those things can go fast. Some of the fastest cars on the Autobahn. Skoda Kombis. Octavia Kombi. Merging easy. We're at the unrestricted section, so quick shifter, flawless, flawless. Yeah, it can do stupid speeds quite quick, quite fast, and it can keep it there too for longer periods of time. And say 1,000. Of course, 1,000 can do sustained high speeds, but the issue is it gets quite fatiguing quite quickly. So, for this one at least, this thing is pretty relaxed to ride on, especially at speed when the wind starts hitting your chest. Once you get a little bit of that cushion from the wind, you can do these speeds for hours if you want. But doing higher speeds, the issue is not the comfort for your body. The harder thing to cope with is the wind noise. Because once you're doing speeds above 180, 190, 200, wind noise can be quite annoying. The engine that sits between your legs is a monster. And use that power just for, let's say, overtaking. That's how it's done. It's so easy. It's so fucking easy to overtake on this one. And the crazy part is I still haven't pushed it past 8,000 RPM, which most of its power lies. Except for in 6th gear, because Suzuki decided to extremely neuter the 6th gear, especially at the top end, because of the said gentleman's agreement. Because if you take the limiter off, if you decide to, let's say, de-restrict it, the 6th gear, don't have to do anything, don't have to mess with any of those fueling settings, nothing, just take the limiter off in 6th gear and you're pushing 330, if you have the balls to do it. I mean, I certainly don't, and I certainly don't feel the need to either. When I was younger, much younger, I'm in my mid-30s right now. When I was in my early 20s, I could have done that, because you're generally, when you're that old, you're kind of stupid too, so I definitely was. It's not because you can handle all that power, it's because you're just dumb. You just don't know how to, I don't know, think about anything else other than the adrenaline rush that gives you, so. Yeah, it catches a lot of attention, like people kind of looks at it, because it's designed to be grotesque, according to the designer. I forgot the name of the guy who designed the Busa, but he wanted it to be unique. And to make it unique, you gotta make it look grotesque. Shouldn't look like anything else on the road. And this thing doesn't look like anything else on the road. It is extremely unique, in a sense. Anyway, yeah. So the thing is, there is so much power than you can ever use safely. And the crazy part is that this thing is equally comfortable cruising at 180, 200. At the same time, in the city, it can do, what are we doing now? 50 kph in 4th gear, like it's nothing. The engine is not complaining, it's just chilling, just relaxed. Of course, not in its element, but because I'd say the sweet spot for this engine is to cruise at around 6,000 RPM. That's like the sweetest spot. Yeah. we will shortly get back to the Autobahn, but I wanted to say something about the general comfort, you know, not just on the highways, but also in the city. Today's actually, like I mentioned earlier, a pretty hot day. They were already issuing heat warnings and stuff like that, because people are not used to this kind of heat here in Germany. So one thing I can literally say is that even on hot days like this, yeah, you can cruise pretty comfortably on this one. Yeah, please take the necessary precautions, like drink enough water, have something to eat so that you fatigue less. But otherwise, there is nothing else you have to do. Like, it's just, yeah, jump on and start riding. I used to ride an R1 back when I was in India. The crossplane, it sounds beautiful, right? Like, it's an inline four, but it doesn't sound like a regular 180-degree crank. The 270-degree is something else. That's one of the most beautiful sounding motorcycles that I've ever heard. I still want to get one. Maybe I will. You know, if finances permit, sometime in the next 2-3 years, hopefully. So, yeah. So the R1 protests below 60 kph. Like, if you stick it into, let's say, fourth, and then try to ride it at 60 kilometers an hour, not even 50. Let's go a bit higher, 60. You know, we were cruising at 50 back there. And when I was cruising at 60 in fourth gear, that thing didn't like it. It protested the entire way. Like, it was not even stock. It even had the ECU flash done by quite famous tuner, independent tuner, and still didn't help. It was hot as hell. If you decide to wear leathers and then is unfortunate enough to ride an R1, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is not at all like that. It's so easy to ride slow that you can't even. I have sometimes. The first time I jumped on it, I had never ridden a Hayabusa till I bought one. I had the chance to ride many motorcycles, but Hayabusa I didn't. But when I first, let's say, got my hands on one, like, I bought it. When I bought it, I still didn't ride it. I had to prepare some things before I could actually ride the thing, and then it took a couple of months after the purchase of the motorcycle that I could actually ride it for the first time. And then when I rode it, I was fucking surprised. Like, it was so goddamn easy to ride. Like, you could say it's similar to ZX1300R in that regard. ZX1300R is also really nice to ride at slow speeds. Same thing, it's almost similar how they feel, I'd say. The last time I rode a 14R was back in, I don't know, 2019, so 6 years ago. But I still remember, like, certain aspects of it, like the easiness. And this is also kind of similar. Like, it's extremely easy to ride fast, slow, pick a speed and just ride. It's okay, we'll do it. And it's not actually too bad on the purse too. Like, the upkeep is incredibly easy. I like to work on my motorcycles myself. I always did, ever since I started riding when I was like 16 years old, I think. No, I started riding at 13, 16. When I had the first motorcycle was when I was 16, 17, I think. it's so easy to work on. There are nothing special. Like there is a saying that if you have a number 12, number 8 spanner, you can completely disassemble a Japanese motorcycle because they're built to a certain standards or a certain standard, Japanese industry standard, JIS. So it makes it incredibly easy to service, to repair if something goes wrong. Not like the European motorcycles, especially Italian. So there are not many, like the KTM does these days, there are not many software blocks, when you're trying to do something. It's just like buy it and then forget it. Like, you don't even have to take it to the service center if you have enough knowledge about working on the motorcycles. It's like it doesn't have to be like extensive knowledge, your engine repair. No, not even, just basic knowledge is enough. As long as you know your way around a screwdriver and a couple of spanners and Allen wrenches, you are good to go. Go get one. You won't regret it. So that's how easy it is to lift it. And the cost for the parts, easy. It's also pretty cheap compared to the others, let's say to the European motorcycles. All the Japanese motorcycles are like easy to service, easy on your wallet. So that's also one of the reasons why I didn't want to go for anything. So I wanted to get something powerful for the Autobahn, and there were literally just two options that I had in mind. The one was Hayabusa, of course, and the second one was a KTM Super Duke. 1290 or 1390 didn't matter to me. I wanted to get something in my price range, and I think I could have gotten a 1390 for the similar price that I paid for this one, but I'm pretty sure that would have been a bad decision. As in, it's subjective, right? I'm not someone who does like wheelies all day long. It's not something that I prefer, enjoy. First of all, I'm not that good at it. Guilty as charged, but I don't see the point either. Yeah, it's fucking fun, I'd say. But I'd like to try to avoid accidents as much as possible. I'm not a fan. I had one, or a couple, where it got me hospitalized. Not exactly hospitalized, but bedridden, you could say, for a couple of months. And ever since then, no, I'd rather not. So this is a perfectly rational choice at the end of the day. But that Super Duke, man, it was so tempting. Like, yeah, I just said that I don't like wheelies, but just so fucking badass, right? When you do it, like the fourth gear, you're spinning it, and then the front lights up a bit, and it literally has settings to help you fucking wheelie, which is even crazy to think about. Like the settings on that motorcycle, the wheelie settings on that motorcycle, it's not to help stop wheelies. It's there to help you do wheelies. It's KTM, a bunch of crazy motherfuckers. Yeah. But this one, it's more of like a gentle giant. It's a giant of a motorcycle. It's fucking wide, it's huge, it's long, it's heavy as fuck. Like, it's 274 kilos, at least when I checked this morning, because I had an inspection today. So yeah. So it's a heavy thing, and I'm not particularly a big guy, but I can handle this thing like a, I don't know, like a scooter, even at low speeds like this. Which is crazy to think. I think it can do 50 kph in 6th gear if I want to, but then it's I don't feel like it can do that, but it's not particularly comfortable, and I'd say it's not actually safe either. Like if you're in a corner and then you're doing low speeds in a high gear, that's a recipe for disaster. So I'd say 4th gear is the best. It's the best choice. The scenery is not bad, so just enjoy it a bit, I think. Oh yeah, see? Easy. 6th gear, 50 kph. Barely idling. Practically its idling speed, 1600 rpm. It's such a flexible engine. You can't even rev match at such low speeds. That's one thing that I have a problem with the throttle. It's when I'm trying to rev match, unless you're in, I don't know, at a higher RPM range, it's completely useless. But I could do that on the other motorcycles that I've ridden. This one is a bit, I don't know, maybe there is too much slack, but I don't feel like there is too much slack. It seems perfect to me. But it's still so hard to rev match. I think I forgot to talk a little bit about the suspension. The suspension at this speed is a bit hard, but I'm fairly lightweight. I'm 66, 65 kilos, 67 on a good day. So for my weight, it's a bit harshly sprung, you could say. But for this speed, the speed that we're doing now. The problem is, I usually ride on the Autobahn, the B roads like this one. I rarely use them because the places where I want to get to, it's mostly, you know, like majority of those rides are on the Autobahn. And at high speeds, it's better that the motorcycle is a bit harshly sprung, because at speed the effects of the road undulations can get pretty, I don't know, like coupled with the weight of the motorcycle, the speed and all of that. If it's softly sprung at that time, it doesn't have a dynamic system like, let's say, the BMW uses, where it automatically adjusts the compression, rebound, and the preload based on like multitude of factors. I think it takes into account the weight that's currently on the motorcycle, the speeds that you're doing. I think the latest ones even read the road before it actually adjusts the suspension, and again do it in like milliseconds. The Hayabusa, the Gen-3, doesn't have such a system. It's all manual, so you can set it up according to your wish, but we can only go for a setting at a time. So for this, for my use case, for my intended use and purposes, this is, I would say, not perfectly sprung, but yeah, almost. And the roads that are in Germany are pretty high quality. You don't, except for like inner city, you don't encounter shitty roads much. So it's mostly rough roads, a little bit rough, yeah, of course, but they are mostly okay. So because of that, even though it's harshly sprung at low speeds, I prefer it like that. It's not a criticism, because there is nothing to criticize, because you can adjust it yourself. If you want it hard, yeah. If you want the compression to be a bit slow, or rebound to be a bit faster, slow, I don't know. It's up to you to choose the setting that you want. Because it's a huge learning curve, it's not like, so for somebody who's new to motorcycling, it might be like an uphill battle because you have to have that experience setting up a suspension to dial in the perfect settings for you. So it takes some trial and error, especially if you're new. But that's the good thing about motorcycling. You are not just riding a machine like which helps you or help you take you from point A to point B. It's also a lifestyle you could say, especially in European countries. Right, we are hitting Autobahn now. Look at this boy getting all the attention. Merging, the funnest thing to do on the boost. Let's try to, I don't know, hit some stupid speeds. Holy shit! Yeah, the wind, hey, can't really tuck in because of the tag back. Or I need a bigger screen, which I think I will get sooner than later. Oh, by the way, if I haven't talked about the Suzuki driver management system, SDMS, it's a pretty good system. Not like so many settings. I usually only ride in A mode, like everything is off or the lowest intervention possible. Right now I think I have power mode on, power mode 1, so that means full power. DC, it's the lowest, traction control 1, lift control 1, so that means it can lift its front when it wants, not when it wants, when I want, of course, yeah. And the quick shifter is in mode 1, I think, which is the most responsive. I still haven't read through the settings because I'm an old school rider. All the motorcycles that I ever owned had barely any electronics. This is the first one that, like, electronics, and it comes with a fucking full suit. Like, too much stuff for me to even, I don't know. Some of the stuff takes a while for me to comprehend. Like how much do you want your front end to come up? I don't know, never. I mean, yeah, I like it coming out because it's fun, but I prefer to do it whenever I like, which is like rarely. But I do understand, like once I was riding with a pillion, and then I tried launch control with the pillion, which was kind of stupid. But then the front came up, which was kind of unexpected. I was not expecting it. And yeah, I do. In those circumstances, definitely, the systems help. I shouldn't be a negative Nancy because I think you never really think about electronics till it saves you, it fucking saves you at some point. Like ABS, I fucking love ABS because it has saved me from crashes many times. Not on this one, like most motorcycles released after 2012 came with an ABS, so I did own a couple of motorcycles with ABS because I was, at some point, most of the countries made it mandatory to release a motorcycle with the basic safety systems like ABS, and then later came traction control and stuff like that. So, yeah, I do understand the appeal. Let's shut up for a minute because buffeting. Yeah, reminds me of James May on Top Gear. Try to cruise at 220. This has been one of the most, at least for somebody who is experienced, who has at least a couple of years worth of riding experience under the belt. This is one of those all-rounder motorcycles which can do technically everything. And it's more geared towards daily use than any other sports bike, except for maybe ZX13R and the H2SX. What else? A couple of other, you know, the 800cc nakeds that you can use around the city more comfortably. But this is one of those big bikes which can do almost everything, and can do almost everything easily. It's really easy to ride fast, it's really easy to ride slow despite its weight and size. And it's also pretty economical to maintain. It's pretty economical to run because it doesn't drink too much fuel. So more smiles per gallon, you could say. At the end of the day, you don't feel like you spent a lot in maintaining, and when it comes to running costs too, it just doesn't feel like you spent a lot of money on it. It's one of the most reliable motorcycles on the planet, and I'm not kidding. It has been on the road for the past 25 years, more than 25 years. And that means it has been tried and tested. People have done almost every modification imaginable to this thing, and it has survived, and it has passed all those gruesome tests, you could say. And because of that, I'd say this is one of those, you know, the motorcycle that you settle with. It's you can count on it any day of the week. It's really gentle, except if you push it, then it becomes extremely dangerous. Can bite you in the ass. It will kick your ass if you don't respect it. And it's I don't know, extremely fun when you want it to be fun, you know. So yeah, it's like that one person that you settled with. Yeah. So that has been my Busa experience. And yeah, I expect more of these videos soon. Of course, it's my first video, so I don't know. Probably shit. It might be shit, who knows. I hope the audio at least is clear. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little short ride on the Autobahn, through the city streets, through the countryside. Yeah. I don't have nothing much to say about this thing. It's exceptional. Yeah. So that's it, guys. I'll catch you guys in another video. So till then.